Hello guys, welcome to J.C. Design, and this is my second installment of my Zero to Hero Photoshop course. Today you're going to be learning how to do a high pass effect on photographs. This effect enables you to enhance your photographs and make them look high definition. What I mean is this type of effect. So if we go to File, Open, and then we open this one. So this is what I mean by the high pass effect. So if we zoom in here, we can see that pretty much every detail is kind of is highlighted, and it really looks like a high quality image. But originally this image looked like this. So if we open this image, no, don't save, bear with me. So if we open this image, the image originally looked like this. So we're going to get from this to this. And I'm going to show you how to do it with a very simple effect that you can apply to your layers, and it will enhance your photographs a lot. So let me get into that. Right, let me just close this one, and then, sorry, I should have organized this earlier, but you know, what's going on? Come on. Alright, there we go. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Right, there we go. Okay, so now we have the original image. If you look below if you are watching this video on YouTube and you look below, there'll be a links folder, and if you go into that links folder, there'll be a variety of images in that folder. You can use any one for this tutorial, but for demonstration purposes it's probably better to use the same one that is supplied in that folder. So if you go into that folder and open it up into Photoshop, then we'll get started. So once you've got your image in Photoshop, it'll come in just like this really. You'll have it in your layers tab here, and you'll have the image here. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go over to your layers tab and then click your left mouse button on top of the background image. Then you'll get another tab which says duplicate. Duplicate that layer. Don't name the layer, don't bother, because we're going to flatten them later. So open that, and then what we want to do is we want to apply the high pass effect onto this image. So the way we do that is we go up to Filter, and then down to Other, and then we click on High Pass. And then by default it should come in at 10 or maybe 5. But for this tutorial and for this effect to work, we really need to go above the threshold of 5. So just dial in 10, and the way that you do that is just kind of highlight it or double click, and it will highlight the entire number in there. Then you want to hit backspace and then hit 10. Obviously I'm hoping that you know how to do that. But for people who are new to Photoshop, they might not know. So once you're happy with that, you've got the 10 in there, and just hit OK. And now it'll apply the effect to your copied layer. So we can't really see much now. You can see a little bit of details there. So what we need to do, we need to apply a hard light effect to that layer. So we look through this layer onto the background layer, and it accentuates all these kind of little highlights. So the way we do this is we go up to this tab here, which is normal, and then we go up to hard light, and then what is happening now, what Photoshop is doing is it's allowing us to look through this layer like it's like tracing paper, but it's taking all those little highlights and putting them on top of the original background layer. But I mean, the effect hasn't done much to the image. It's enhanced it a little bit, but we want to enhance it a lot more. So the way that we do this is if you go to your background layer, click on your background layer and duplicate it by clicking the left mouse button, going up to duplicate layer, and just don't bother naming it because we're going to flatten them in a moment, the layers. And we'll make a duplicate of the background layer like we did previously with this one. And now what we want to do is we want to make that into a screen. So go to your normal tab, click on screen, which should be depending on the version of Photoshop you're using, it'll be kind of maybe at the top, middle, or bottom. So just check the whole list, then click screen, and it'll come up like this, and it's all washed out. And that's not the effect we're looking for. It's kind of going the other way now. So what we need to do is we need to highlight the shadows and highlights. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to merge these layers. If you know about smart objects, you can make this into a smart object and it'll do exactly the same thing. For people and benefits of the tutorial, I'll just, for the moment, just merge the layers. But if you know about smart objects, just do that. I'll cover smart objects in a later video. This is basically for intermediate level, not intermediate, beginner level. So anyway, I'm babbling on. Right, so what we want to do to merge these layers is there's two ways of merging your layers. Well, there's probably there's three ways, but I'll just show you two ways. So the first way is if you select the bottom layer, which is the background, and then put your finger on Shift. Sorry, I've got a cold. And then if you go to the top layer, so you've got your finger down on Shift with the bottom layer selected, as you can see there, you see I've got Shift selected. Then you want to go to your top layer and then click, and it'll click through all the layers that are above the layer that you've selected. So now we've selected all these layers, and then we want to merge them. So go on any layer you want, but don't click on them. Just hover over them with your mouse, and then click the left mouse button, and you'll get a tab like this. What we want is merge layers. So if you want to merge them that way, you can click merge layers, and that'll merge them. But there's another way to merge them. So if we click off the layers, you don't have to select any layers here. If you go up to the layers tab, which is here, and then you go down to merge visible, that'll merge them too. But also, if you go up to the layers tab and you've got a layer selected, if you've got your layers selected like we did earlier, go up to layer, it'll have merge layers, which does exactly the same thing. So whichever way you want to do it that way, or do it in the drop down panel box. So once we've got our layers selected, we want to enhance the shadows and highlights. So the way we do this is we go up to image, and then we go down to adjustments, and then we go down to shadows and highlights. Now I'm using Photoshop CC, and depending on what version of Photoshop you're using, this may not be in the same location. It'll be in the adjustments panel, but it might be at the top, it might be at the bottom, or it might be in the middle. So just have a look through. So once you've found it, just select the shadow and highlights tab, and you'll get a box like this, which is shadow and highlights. I've done this effect quite a lot, and usually I've found that the same kind of parameters work for most of the images I've applied this effect to. So if you want to follow along and just kind of put in the same numbers, but it is open to experimentation. You can play around, that's how you learn, by experimenting and playing around with your own images. So usually what I've found is these numbers kind of work best. So if you go into your shadows, you've got your shadows tab here, and then you've got the amount. Usually I just dial in the numbers rather than moving the little marquee tool or whatever it's called along the bar. You can do that if you want, but usually I've found these numbers work best. So for your amount of shadow, you want to put in 50, and then if you hit the tab key, it'll cycle through each number. So there we go to the next one, which is tone. You want to put in 20 maybe, and then tab key again, radius, which is probably about 20. And so I'm happy with that, yeah. So if we go to highlights, and then we put in probably 50, let's try 60. You see this is open to experimentation. I'm just seeing what the image looks, but generally around these numbers works the best. So we go down to tone and we'll put in 50. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then radius probably about 60. Now we'll try 80. I'm happy with that. And adjustments, so we want to adjust the color. And I think this image looks a little bit orangey, you know, like kind of a little bit very you know, suntanny. So I want to take the color down a bit to accentuate the points of the other points of interest. So I'm going to go minus 70 and see what that looks like. Maybe 80. I'm happy with that. And the mid-tones, probably plus 20. Let's try 30. And black clip, white clip, just leave those as they are. So I'm happy with that image. It looks kind of high definition. You can see a lot of the details, and it's bringing out a lot of the you know, his beard and his hair, and it's got a lot of detail on his nose and stuff. So I'm happy with that. So once you're happy with it, just click OK, and that will be added to your image. But it's still not as detailed as I'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another high pass to it. So the way we do that is just as we did it before. We go to the layer, we click the left mouse button, and then we go to duplicate layer. And we don't have to name it, but we can name this one high pass. High pass. Oops, sorry, hang on. Caps. High pass. And then just click OK. And then we go up to filter again, and then down to other, and then high pass. And what you want to do is you want to keep it the same as we had it before, but you can play around with it maybe a little bit more and see what you think works. That's not going to work. Actually, we'll just keep it at 10. So click that. And now what you want to do, rather than clicking on hard light, you want to click on overlay. To be honest, you can click on any one you want really here. So we'll just click on hard mix. Whoa, that's crazy. So let's click on overlay, and we've kind of I'm happy with that, you know. So if we take that layer off, we can see what it's kind of adjusted. So let's try hard light actually and see what that looks like. Hard light looks a lot better. So yeah, that's pretty much the methodology or method of giving an image a really high pass kind of finish, a really high definition finish. So this is the end of the tutorial, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed it and you can apply the effect to your own images. Please subscribe if you like this tutorial. Like I said, this is the second video in my Zero to Hero Photoshop course, which will be over 30 lessons, and this is lesson 2. So I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.